One such contact, a young man I will refer to as Mark, was a slow-witted, card-carrying, Aryan Nation celebrity wannabe with this disturbing habit of calling me from the scenes of racially motivated criminal acts. I was completely upfront with Miss Sharonda about what was expected of her as a producer and willing to offer her top salary based solely on her word and resume. After assurances she could handle anything we asked of her, she was hired. So imagine my surprise when Miss Sharonda turned down her very first assignment, Hoochie Mamas and the Men Who Loved Them. When my senior producer informed me what had happened, I immediately called Sharonda to my office. No sooner had she walked through the office door it was, calling black women hoochie mamas is demeaning. I won't do it, she snapped, as if I would agree with her assessment and the decision not to produce said show. But that's the point, I replied. What, that it demeans black women, she said. Can't we do better than this junk? Look at you. You're a black man at the top spot on a nationally syndicated show. Don't you understand how amazing that is? Of course I do. Then let's create something special with this moment, my brother, for the sake of our people. To which I replied, you must be out of your friggin' mind. We are not here to change the world. We're here to sell soap powder, Walkmans, cars, Sears, diapers for grown-ups, hot dogs, and women's vaginal products. Okay, so that's the hard reality, but it doesn't mean we can't strive to be more creative and respectful to the image of our people, she insisted. Not if you want to keep your job, I countered, which immediately brought a look of shock. I continued. Is a show like Hoochie Mama's demeaning, encouraging a certain type of black woman to behave badly? Absolutely. But there are 5.2 million viewers out there who believe it is highly entertaining, and I'm one of them. Listen to yourself, she snapped. No, you listen, I snapped back. Our main audience nationally consists of white college students, millions of them who also happen to be prime advertising targets. Shows like Hoochie Mama's right through the roof with them. Is that all you care about? What the white man wants? Ratings? Are you on drugs? I suggest you get busy booking some hoochie mamas. If you need help, I have contact. I'll be fine, she snapped, and then stormed out the door. The night before we were supposed to tape her hoochie mama show, all of her guests mysteriously fell out. I was informed of this by cell phone while in the midst of a 10 o'clock dinner at the Russian tea room. I have to admit she didn't have my complete attention. My date did. Cell phone connection sucked back then. I remember hearing her say, Hoochie Mamas are out, perfect replacement, ratings. All I needed to hear was ratings, and I was done. Conversation over. The next morning at our 8 p.m. production meeting, she sprang the top 10 black female business owners in America on us. Everyone in the room looked at me, not her, as if I had lost my mind. What the fuck is this? I said, shocked she could possibly be so stupid. You're gonna love it, she said with excitement in her voice. No, I'm not. You better tell me these black women are secretly hoochie mamas behind the facade of power, which would be fantastic, or this will be your last day as producer here. Why are you so obsessed with such a negative stereotype like hoochie mama? Sharonda, we are not even having this discussion. You have one choice in 4 hours to save your job. Everyone at the table was now staring at her. But I booked all these women. They're waiting in the green room to meet you and Zim. Send them home. Send them home, she shouted, seemingly on the verge of a meltdown. But you can't do that. These are some of the most powerful black women in your mind, I said, cutting her off. Look, do you want to keep your job or not? Yes, she replied through clenched teeth. Take a car to Harlem. Car? Harlem? Don't worry, the show will pay for it. See this woman. See this woman. I wrote down a contact in Harlem. Ruby's bail bonds. Ruby will yell at you for being so last minute. Give her this $300. It'll calm her down. I took the money right out of my own pocket. She'll scatter her people to the four winds in search of as many hoochies as we need. I suggest 8 with boyfriends. Get moving. Long story short, Ruby came through. The show would eventually hit amazing numbers, but Miss Sharonda had to go. On her way out, she accused me of being a racist and wrote a letter to my studio bosses, ergo, the action memo. So I took another shot at diversity. A black man, I will call Greg. The show he was originally assigned to produce, Cheating with the Neighbor, fell apart the day before taping. Shows fell apart all the time, and as far as I was concerned, the timing was perfect. We could always use the boost only a racist-themed show could provide. So when I asked Greg about his Ku Klux Klan or racist contacts, the question made him laugh out loud. After regaining his composure, he looked at me as if I had two heads and replied, Ku Klux Klan? Ku Klux Klan contacts? Are you serious? I assured him I was, along with a speech about the importance of collecting them, before giving him the names and numbers of two KKK Grand Wizards I had worked with on previous shows. It may surprise you, reader, to know that finding and booking racists was one of my specialties. In the business, I was known as a prodigious collector of some of the most despicable purveyors of racial mayhem to ever step foot onto a dais. It was something I was proud of. Years before I'd ever learned of the ratings bonanzas racists would bring to the world of daytime talk, I had met and engaged in several discussions with KKK Grand Wizards, as well as a few foot soldiers, a neo-Nazi, and others of that ilk, just out of sheer curiosity. Growing up attending predominantly white schools in predominantly redneck communities also influenced my comfort level in the company of whites. And of course, being in the body of a Negro with German DNA running through my veins didn't hurt either. But to become an outstanding procurer of racists required the meticulous development of several nefarious characters I could call on a dime. On the other end of the line was my access to a veritable shopping list of racists representing a wide range of hate-fueled, invective-laden ideologies. One such contact, a young man I will refer to as Mark, was a slow-witted, card-carrying, Aryan Nation celebrity wannabe with this disturbing habit of calling me from the scenes of racially motivated criminal acts. In his deranged way of seeing the world, parentheses, supported by our willingness to suffer such nonsense, close parentheses, each of these acts he had hoped would serve as proof that he would make a great television guest. One day I picked up the phone to hear, "Fucking H, guess what me and my boys are doing right now?" He shouted with the excitement of a schoolboy after hitting his first home run. "I have no idea, Mark. What are you doing?" "We're burning a cross on these niggers' front lawn down here in Georgia." "What the hell are you doing that for?" I asked. "'Cause they ain't got no business moving into a white neighborhood," he replied with a hint of incredulity, as if I should have known the answer. "Man, you should see this fucking cross. It's like 7 feet tall with flames are shooting up in the air like a wildfire." "And you're telling me this why?" "'Cause I'm getting it all on tape, buddy. If I send you a copy, can I be on the show?" "Absolutely," I replied, feigning interest, but still a little skeptical. "How do I know you're not just burning a cross on your own front lawn, Mark?" I then heard him shouting, "Hey, Junior, look at me. He wants proof we're burning a cross on the nigger's lawn. Point the camera at them niggers looking out the window right now. Come on, before we lose them." Then back to me. "Hey, bro, we got them niggers looking out their front window at us on tape. That'll prove it to you. So can I be on the show?" Through the phone, I could hear the sound of a siren in the distance. "Mark, would that be the police or the fire department I'm hearing? Maybe you can record your own capture," I said, laughing. "Oh, shit. You right, bro. I gotta go. I'm gonna send you the tape as soon as I can." Another contact I used quite often was John Metzler, the son of Tom Metzler, former head of the White Aryan Resistance. Like father, like son. We had spoken so often, our conversations usually focused on topics topics we both agreed upon before getting down to the business of talking about race. But if you had been sitting in my office listening to the timbre of the conversation, chances are you would have assumed I was speaking to anyone but a racist. I completely understood where John was coming from many levels. For every stereotype, there is an archetype. John and his dad and others like them were wired to see only the stereotypes that drove their hatred and perhaps fears. Which brings us back to Greg. Before sending him away, armed with the numbers of a couple surefire racists, we needed to have an in-depth discussion about what it took to produce a great interracial dating show.